because this will be the best talk of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the revolution, the AI revolution. We are living at a profound time in human history, and so congratulations for being here. And I would like to invite you to raise your arm if you think that AI tech is going to be more important to humanity than the iPod. Yes. Okay, how about the iPhone? Yeah, still most people. What about the internet? Oh, less hands are going up. Okay, what about the printing press? And finally, the agricultural revolution. Okay, so AI is on par with just in between the agricultural revolution and the invention of books. So nice to know where we are. So one thing I am particularly interested in about AI is that everyone is worried AI is going to take people's jobs. But the thing is, right now, it's going to be people using AI who are going to take the jobs. And that opens up a lot of opportunity for people to upskill, to learn these new technologies, and apply them to every single industry on the planet. In this talk, I'm going to be taking through some of my favourite AI tools and explaining some of the most interesting ways that different industries can apply these. Because last week alone, there were more than 1,000 AI tools released. And so how can we stay afloat in this tidal wave of new technology? Well, I'm here to take you on a journey. Just a year ago, take your eyes back to July 2022, less than a year ago, and this was the type of image that we were getting out of Midjourney. And I sat there, I produced this image, and I was mind blown. I could feel the sweat run down my brow, my blood ran cold, because I knew that this was going to be a fundamental shift in what we can achieve as humans. But fast forward, just 8 months later, and we now have images like this. So just in 8 months, the technology has come on leaps and bounds, and it's only accelerating. And so, beyond photos, we now have the power of video, and also voice synthesis. And for this, I will hand you over to my assistant to continue the presentation. Oh no, but he doesn't play! Okay, well that was a video, so I will have to mimic what would happen here, which is an artificially generated version of myself, with my voice synthesized. And this is built using 11 Labs and DID, which are two fantastic tools for creating your own clone. So if you want your own AI double to perform tasks for you, this is a great technology to look into. This is particularly important if you are wanting to be in 2 places at once, or if, like me, you're running a YouTube channel. So I've started to intersperse my YouTube videos with synthesized parts of my voice. So it will switch from me speaking to a synthesized version of myself. And so far, I'll let you into a little secret, that nobody has noticed. Until now. So let's move on to another fantastic advancement that people have been talking about a little bit today. And this is how we manipulate photos and images with AI. There is this tool called Dragan, and this gives us the ability to select parts of an image and completely adjust it. So you can see here with this woman, you can simply drag the corners of her mouth and she will smile. This works with postures, this works with animals, this works with outfits, haircuts, and everything like that. And this is a video, it looks like that's not also working. So we also want to have a look at how this can work with websites and with apps. We're now able to draw wireframes, put them into the AI, and output a working prototype. So you can simply sit there, sketch out a little idea for an app, take a photo of it, put it into UiWizard. I don't quite know how to pronounce that correctly, it's my best shot. Wizard with a U. And you get a beautiful app out straight away. So this massively speeds up the ability to go from idea straight away to a working prototype. Now, another fantastic tool I want to introduce you to is called Opus Clips. And I'll tell you a little story. So I have a YouTube channel, YouTube videos. The other day somebody emailed me and they made a short of one of my videos. And I looked at it, I was like, wow, this is pretty impressive. And the guy said, yes, I can create you 100 shorts, $20 a piece. And I was like, wow, that sounds good. And then something struck me that's slightly odd about it. And I had a little look, and it turns out he was using this tool called Opus, which is an AI tool that can take long-form video content, select the most interesting parts, crop them, reframe them so they work for vertical style video, add captions, sound effects, and give you a title. And it does all of this in a click of a button. So you can upload a 40-minute video, get 10 shorts out that are completely usable. And so I thanked the industrious gentleman, but I declined his request. However, as I was saying, it's not going to take people's jobs, because then I decided that I'm not going to be doing this. I'm actually going to hire my assistant to do this for me. So this was a role, a task that would never have been done before. And now, with AI, I am more productive and I'm able to hire and employ someone to use an AI tool. And because it's a lower investment for me, I actually want to make that investment. So instead of paying $20 per short, I can now pay my assistant $5 an hour to get 100 shorts. And this gives us complete control to repurpose content, to be more productive, and take our work further. As well as giving us more opportunity to secure copyright protection. So, one of the issues with attaining copyright protection for AI artworks cited by the US Copyright Office is that we do not have complete control over the output. They deem that it is the AI that has more of the creative input than we do, that it decides exactly where a hand will go, exactly what colour the head will be. But now, with the new tools, we are retaking that control, and that's only going to lead to more copyright protection. Now, let's shift gears a little bit from the digital realm and bring it into the physical realm. This is a render that I created in Midjourney, the building, in the style of Zaha Hadid. And if you go onto the Zaha Hadid Design Studio, there's a wonderful interview with their design principal, where he's saying that not every single project that they are working on is using AI, but most are. And that means already their design studio has integrated AI generative tools into their design process. And he goes on to say, they have interesting ideas, new kinds and forms and moves. So it allows them to create more ideas more quickly. So this is a fantastic AI architectural tool where you can simply upload a render of a building structure, and then you can resurface it. You can apply different materials. You can look at it in different seasons, in different atmospheres, and you can output a huge amount of different renderings of the same structure. And this is an incredibly useful tool for architects who are pitching complex buildings, designs for competitions, and gives them a whole host of new capabilities that they can immediately use to improve the way they design the buildings that we live and work in. And it's not just for exteriors. This also applies to interiors. So now you can take a picture of your room and imagine if you wanted an Art Deco style, if you wanted a modernist style, if you wanted it to look like a chic farmhouse or a Dorset cafe, you can now preview that yourself. This tool is called Vowles, so if you want to check it out, take a look at that. Now, if we take that one step further, we're looking now at some of the external structures, the internal structures of buildings. But what I see AI moving into this year is engineering. So if we have the ability to write a prompt and say, design me a valve, design me a joint that is more efficient, that costs this much, that performs under these requirements, this will immensely allow us to improve the performance of every single mechanical product in the world. So we're going to see huge advancements in transport tech, medicine tech, and any physical object. And that's coming down the pipeline, just as AI for surgery. So we're also able to easily prototype and display how people can look with different facial features, with different types of surgery applied. And of course, this is not just if you want to have a nicer nose or a larger chest, it is. So here's me with a different nose, and the next one is me with a trotter, an oink face, but no, it's not. But there is an app here that does this, so you can actually get a 3D rendering of your face and absolutely adjust every single element of it. You can export this model, send it to your surgeon, and get them to recreate exactly how you like to look. But the real applications for this is to help people that we know and we love, who are born with birth defects, there are burns patients, or people with facial tumours. So there are real applications for improving people's lives with this technology. And this moves on to what we can do with the brain. So this is one of the most exciting projects that I have found to do with AI. And if you've heard of Mind Video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because what they do is they put someone in an MRI scanner. They ask the individual to watch a video. They then map the brain pattern of the individual. And then they get AI to output a video. So, the person in the MRI scanner is watching the video on the left, and the AI is interpreting their brain scans and outputting the image on the right. So you can see it's not perfect, but it completely identifies the content and some of the composition. Here's another example. But what is really exciting about this is the potential applications. How can we apply this? What does it mean? How can it help people? Well, one interesting application is that you can sleep in one of these spaces and record your dreams. Wake up and watch a video of all the dreams that you had the night before. We can use this in psychotherapy or to further understand ourselves on a deep level. Imagine also sending your friend a telepathic video. You're just recording something. I'll just record a little video for you and send it off. Just think of something and there you go, that's that one. And of course, there's also the potential for developing lie detectors based on this technology. And let's also just shift gears a little bit and start looking at the visual side of things and talk a little bit about large language models. How can we apply these in different industries? What are some of the interesting use cases for ChatGPT and the likes? Well, I think this is some of the most interesting applications because what we can do is we can train ChatGPT to do so many different tasks. It is like your assistant that you can inform and teach and train and feed. So I put my entire speech last night, I recorded it, I transcribed it using otter.ai, I uploaded it to ChatGPT, and I said, tell me ChatGPT, how can I make my speech better? And it said, you need to start with some audience interaction. I said, oh, that's a great idea, I'll put that in. And it said, you need to include some personal anecdotes. I said, oh, there's that guy who emailed me, I'm not using it, I'll include that. So thank you ChatGPT, my assistant, for this speech. And what's really important is to understand how good ChatGPT is at creating language. Because there's this wonderful research where patients are showing the responses to health questions from ChatGPT on one hand, and from doctors on the other hand. So in a blind test, they were asked, do you prefer the communication style of ChatGPT or of a real doctor? And 79% of the time, they preferred ChatGPT's response. So it's very important to understand how emotionally intelligent ChatGPT can be, how good its bedside manner is. But what's really interesting is actually taking ChatGPT and getting it to use other AI tools. So I have been working hard at getting ChatGPT to use Midjourney. I've been teaching ChatGPT about the different browsers and about the different ways that we can coax images out of Midjourney. And I created this video on YouTube about it, and then somebody turned this into a plugin on ChatGPT. So now you can go onto ChatGPT, use this Midjourney plugin, and it will write you an AI art prompt. And this is one of the most interesting ways to start connecting different AI tools together. We're at a wonderful time right now where all of these new techniques, all of these new tools have just come out. So it's like being an artist who's given a new paintbrush that never existed. And we get the opportunity to use a new colour that no one has ever seen before. So the opportunity to do original things right now is larger, I think, than we've ever seen. And that's why it's so exciting to start connecting different tools, to start using different technologies in interesting ways. So this is a very interesting example I'd love to share that I found. I was on a conference on a cruise ship last week, and there was this Russian guy, and he was telling me that he had been developing a large language model to help women who are using webcam chats to message the users salaciously. So she could automate the texting process of sexting these gentlemen. And I thought that is the most unusual application of a large language model I've ever heard. But it just goes to show that there is not a single industry, I believe, on the planet that cannot be optimized, improved, or taken to the next level using AI, and specifically large language models. And yesterday I was getting my hair cut, and I went back to my hometown, which is in Kent, not far from here, to my hairdresser's, who I've been going to for 20 years. She's now become vicar. And we were sitting down, she was cutting my hair, and she was telling me that she's been using ChatGPT to help research her sermons. And so she's actually there discussing the Bible with ChatGPT, articulating it in a modern context, and helping people resonate with these deep, biblical, symbolic fairy tales. And I thought that's another wonderful example of how anyone can take this technology and use it for good. So, now we are moving into the AI age, I like to call it. There are a number of skills that I believe are going to be fundamental to make sure that we're positioned well to make the most of this. I believe it's like you're a surfer, and we can see this huge wave, this tidal wave is coming, and we've got to make sure that we're in the right place so we can catch the wave. And to do that, it's important that we're investing and we're being aware of the skills that are going to help us. And for me, this hangs deeply on the willingness to adapt, the ability to change the way that we work and think, to be open to trying new ways of existing, of thinking, of being. Beyond that, it's articulation. Actually, how can we define problems in the most concise, precise, and articulate language so that the AI can work with us, can actually understand us? Because a lot of the time, the AI is struggling to really understand what it is that we want. And that comes on to the point of abstraction. So for example, if you are writing a blog post with ChatGPT, you want to pull out and tell it the most important key points that achieve a good blog post. If you tell it that you need to structure it with an intro and outro, you need 3 to 5 main points, you need to make sure that you're including references, links to other places, and other important points that will help it rank well, as well as achieve an important piece of communication, it's going to perform much better at producing a blog post rather than if you just say, write me a blog post. And so this is known as chain of thought prompting. And the key skill here is abstracting down complex processes to the most key points. And that's a practice that we can continue to work with and develop with our prompt engineering skills, which is a term I believe we've talked about a lot today. And finally, another term that we've talked about a lot today is that human element, the authenticity. So now we have the ability to create our own AI clones, our own AI voices, but we're going to be drawn more and more to human connection, to turning up in person, like we are today, and actually witnessing for ourselves real humans, because that is still a fundamental experience of being human. And that is something that the AI will take a long time to take away from us. So you might know Boston Dynamics. I don't know if anyone's been upstairs, and they've actually got one of the dogs around here, which is a robotic, mechanized dog. And it's a very impressive piece of machinery. And unfortunately, I won't have a video to display you, but essentially, 8 years ago, there was the Robot Olympics, where they had the most agile robots were trying to perform some human-related tasks, like pick up a glass or close a door. And unfortunately, all of these robots were awful at it, and they all collapsed, they all fell over, and it's very funny. And I can imagine robot Olympics. So, what is good about this is, I was feeling great watching this 8 years ago, like, haha, stupid robot, you will never overtake me. But recently, the latest robots from Boston Dynamics are able to do much more. And this video shows a robot doing a backflip. And so we've gone from a robot not being able to open a door to now these robots are able to perform backflips. And just want to leave a little hint in your mind about how we can connect large language models, synthesized voices, and mechanized robots. And just to prove that the robots haven't got one over all of us, I will now perform a double backflip. No, I won't do it. And so, if there's one thing I want us to take from this talk, to remember of what is important, is I believe, as Albert Einstein says, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. And right now, we need to start changing. So I run a YouTube channel about AI art, and I post a lot of tutorials, as well as investigating different ways to apply this new technology. You can check out my channel if you'd like to learn more about AI. Every week I post about new tools and how you can use them, about how they work, why they're important. And I also have a number of courses on Udemy, where over 30,000 students have now learned from me about how to use Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, ChatGPT. And my name is Samson Vowles, and I thank you very much for listening to my talk.